Charlotte basically is a quadruple amputee, and she's 7 years old and wants basically to be treated like everyone else, which is one of her most endearing qualities. But regrettably, she hasn't had limbs that fit her for over 3 months, and she needs to learn to walk like the rest of us and be treated normally. And in order to be able to do that, she's got to have these full-size limbs to be able to get her up and about.
For me, when I come to Auckland and we go to for the likes of the wave pool, there's a ton of people that don't know it, or either that or have forgotten. I mean, it's a long time since baby Charlotte, and so I have many people ask what's happened, and lots of children stare at Charlotte, but Charlotte goes, "I know what you're going to say," and so they tend to just go and don't say anything, and that's good for us. And when they ask and we're having fun for the likes of the wave pool, we just say, well, we're having fun right now and we don't want to talk about it, because you know, to say it over and over again is a little bit depressing, and so we just want to get on with our lives and get on with Charlotte's future.
At the moment, she doesn't actually have any limbs, well, any prosthetic limbs at all. So she's having to get around on a small modified skateboard and basically getting around it, you know, by shuffling around on her buttocks. So that's her sort of normal mode of transport at the moment.
Well, it's there's no short story to her prosthetics. There's a lot of complications with Charlotte. She's she's through the knee and above the knee, so her limbs are uneven, which causes it to be very hard to have prosthetics fitted well and comfortably, and for her to wear them for a long period of time. However, we've been to America and we've been to camps where children are actually running around quite freely in their prosthetics. You can block your ears if you like, Sha. And so I think that that's a future for her. However, there isn't the services in New Zealand that we have in America, and I've been battling as a physio on my own with her. When she stands up in these legs, she tends to sort of fall forward and her back curves, which is quite distressing. We know that she's got you know, good abs and good muscle factors, but we haven't yet been made a pair of legs where she feels comfortable to wear them for the likes of more than an hour.
Yeah, the biggest thing is that the family deal with it. They're awesome, the way they deal with things, but the big thing for Charlotte is she doesn't want to be treated any different to anyone else. She basically wants to be a normal kid. She wants to be a normal 7-year-old kid who's out running around, kicking a ball, you know, climbing a tree, and because she doesn't have these limbs, it's, you know, something that she can't do.
She's 7 now, and we want to know why she's not walking properly, and we want to know why the shape of her body is the way it is. However, my aim for the future is for her to be adjusted to prosthetics in her lifetime more than a chair, and for her to be, well, New Zealand's bionic woman.
Well, the big plan is basically the car show is the start of things, hopefully, that we'll get a bit more exposure for Charlotte. And hopefully we can raise enough money to not only buy her some new legs, but also to get her to Camp No Limits in America, where there's a benefactor in America who's agreed to fund Charlotte with prosthetic limbs. But it also gives her the opportunity to interact with people like her, as it's amputees from all over the world that come to Camp No Limits. So it's the only place in the world where Charlotte doesn't feel singled out because of the way she looks, and she feels at home and she's dealing with people going through the same problems as her.
There's no ACC for Charlotte. Apparently it's not an accident that you accidentally catch meningitis from someone else's saliva and lose your limbs. Apparently that's not an accident. What? No. Okay. So we've had no support there. The Limb Centre in Auckland, well, they're only really budgeting for a person that needs 1 leg a year. So we break their budget, and also systems within the Limb Centre and systems within the education, they just don't supply enough money to actually cater for differently abled children within the school, within teacher aides, within providing limbs. There's a long wait, and I don't like that very much because we're sort of forced to wait 3 months before we can get a pair of legs at one time. And no matter if I call up and say, well, she's a priority and she's growing and we need them now and we need them made before she's actually grown out of the last pair, I just get long phone calls of blah blah blah, and I'm not happy with that. So I'm quite a pushy mother, but I'm still not getting anywhere, and you know, I'm on my own with it.
Any parent will know that your kids outgrow their clothes at an alarming rate. So you know, when you're 7 years old and you're outgrowing your limbs every 3 months, there's quite a considerable financial outlay that's got to be made for it.
We just do day to day, and we try and make every day beneficial and happy. The future is too hard to think about because the budget for that is extreme, and unless a billionaire wants to give me $1 billion, that would probably cater.
Yeah, the government provides 2 sets of limbs per year, so you know, we appreciate everything that the government does, but because Charlotte is basically deemed to have suffered an illness rather than an accident, she gets no funding from ACC. So basically all the funding that's required for Charlotte's upkeep and all that is generated through sponsorship and various other means. So the whole objective of this car show is basically to raise enough money, get her public attention back and start making life a bit easier for her and her family.
Charlotte says I can do anything, can't I, Mum? And she pretty much can, apart from the obvious. And so we just leave it at that, and it's about what Charlotte can do, what she can't do, and then we secretly raise money for what she may be able to do.
What does she want to be?
Charlotte, what do you want to be when you get older? Wonder Woman? A soccer player? A racing car driver? All those things have been suggested, so yeah. Right now she's just like burning up, so.